the room I had occupied for 6 days was located. There was, in this astonishing, almost uncanny coincidence, a sign of a mysterious encounter and a love story that had to be lived to the fullest. On Sunday afternoons, when it was drizzling outside, we stayed in bed and eventually dropped off or faded in and out of sleep. From the silent street came the voices of rare passers-by, usually foreigners from a nearby hostel. Then I felt as if I were back in E, where, as a child, I would read beside my mother, who had fallen asleep from exhaustion on her bed, fully dressed after Sunday lunch when the shop was closed. I became ageless and drifted between one time and another in a semi-conscious state. At Oz Place, I was transported back to the discomfort and the makeshift amenities I too had known when my husband and I were starting out as students. On the electric hot plate, whose thermostat no longer worked, all that could be cooked were steaks, always in danger of sticking to the pan the moment you put them in, or pots of pasta and rice, which overflowed in uncontrollable floods of boiling water. The old fridge, whose temperature could not be adjusted, froze the lettuce in the salad drawer. You had to wear 3 sweaters to withstand the damp cold of the high-ceilinged rooms with their poorly sealed windows, impossible to heat even with the electric heaters that were ruinously expensive to operate. He took me to Le Bureau and Big Ben, cafes frequented by young people. He treated me to meals at Jumbo. His favorite radio station was Europe 2. Every evening he watched Nulle part ailleurs. Footnote: a French entertainment cult hit on Canal+, 1987 to 2001, a combination of talk show, news, music, satire, including Les Nuls and Les Guignols de l'Info. The people he greeted on the street were always young, often other students. When he stopped to talk, I stood aside. They watched me sidelong. Afterwards, he would relate the academic background of the guy he had just talked to, with all the details of his successes and failures. Sometimes, discreetly from a distance, asking me not to turn around, he would point out a prof from the Department of Literature where he studied. He tore me away from my generation, but I was not part of his. His extreme jealousy — he accused me of having had a man around my house because the toilet seat was raised — made it pointless to doubt his passion for me, and rendered absurd the reproach I suspected his friends of leveling at him. How can you go out with a menopausal woman? He was devoted to me with a fervor, which, at 54, I had never experienced with any other lover. Forced to contend with the instability and destitution to which poor students are exposed, his parents had debts and lived on the outskirts of Paris on a secretary's salary and the wages from a government-assisted employment contract. He bought only the cheapest products, or the ones that were on sale.